Yeah, that's why I'm coming. That's why I'm saying what.
But then you also have
ahead,
to
go ahead,
consider. It's quite easy for somebody proposing a law and say that I want to tax content creators, but then you also have to consider what were the investment agreement and the bilateral the trade tax agreement for such a company like Google to come to work in Kenya. So it's not so straightforward just because it's tax law that it's going to be able to come in. Now you see a company like Microsoft that has offices and has hired people in Kenya, it's easy for them to withhold. But now when you, as Omosha said, when it comes to content creators, it's, yes, you can say that the geolocation of where the videos of this person are done are in Kenya, but then somebody like Dave Money lives in Canada, it's considered a Canadian. So you cannot just use geolocation and say that you're going to tax him because he's Kenyan, because no, he's a Canadian who comes to Kenya, stays in Kenya, makes content, goes to Canada, but makes money from content made in Kenya. You have to find ways of coming up on how to tax, I think. So the whole tax act, when you hear experts expounding on it and never looked on it, it has some good thoughts, but it's just going to fail. Like it failed before, and most of it is actually things that were talked about in previous tax bills that have gone to Parliament. Now the issue is that I don't believe we have a Parliament that is going to fail this tax, especially since the government is broke and the terminologies on this tax bill are like, we want money now. Why? That's why they're insisting on that withholding. And them wanting for you to withhold that money in 24 hours, which I don't know which business has such good accountants that that by the revenue you make today, by tomorrow you pay taxes on it to the government. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's. I think people are more concerned about the numbers and how the taxes are going to be, instead of being concerned on this is the true test to your legislature. Because just give me a company that you know can do its accounts receivables in a day, balance its books, and pay taxes the next day.
Yes, I actually agree with you, Mika. That 24-hour remittance is not only unreasonable, but it's also illegal. You know, like they're trying to. I think they're trying to entrench it in law. So there's a tax law that has, you know, like a deadline, a monthly deadline, when businesses that have been collecting certain kinds of taxes that have to remit it. You know, here in the U.S., I think different jurisdictions have different deadlines, and here in the U.S. it's complicated because when you're taking payments, like the company I work for, we assess sales tax on, I think, up to 36 states. So we have an accountant who is reviewing millions of dollars worth of sales taxes paid and what's going to what state. There are some states that require that remittance to be done monthly. There's some states that I think require it quarterly. Yeah. There's some that go up to 6 months, and I think there's a few exceptions that that will allow you to do it once a year. And it's very complicated. It's very expensive. It's a task that requires work. And the one other thing that I think also a lot of service providers don't like about collection of taxes is that through the payment processing machine, let's say like you purchased goods worth $10,000 and there's a 6% Maryland tax, that's $10,600, which was paid for by a credit card. The credit card has a transaction fee. So when you're paying the transaction fee, you're not paying the transaction fee on the $10,000, you're paying a transaction fee on $10,600. So all those millions of taxes that you collect, there's actually a fee that you're paying on them. And I believe it's the same thing in Kenya, you know, like whatever payment processors they're using to collect these payments, whether it's M-Pesa or whatever other form of payment they're using, there's a processing fee. And then now adding that logistical, technical nightmare of having to remit it within 24 hours. That's just unreasonable.
La si hivyo kuna mtu atatoka na bakora.
Yeah, that's just unreasonable. It's just I think it's also showing how our situation in Kenya currently is so desperate. So the government wants money and they want it now. I want to remind the listeners that you're tuned in to the One Mic Show. Want to welcome up Esther Mulusa. And Esther Mulusa is saying you're paying entity like the bank account or M-Pesa must be alerted in the case of digital content. Angie Omolo Lungaho, karibu sana. And then Afro Jamaica anasema only Airbnb will play ball with government. So landlords will have to pay, but content creators will be paying twice. Esther Mulusa anasema digital content creators in the US also pay taxes, which is very true. So this is not anything unusual and in so many other jurisdictions. And then Stephen Bati anasema, so since some content creators are dual citizens, how will they factor that in? Pale OneMicShow, for example, I think, like these big companies have a system in which they determine where the taxes are going, because they will not remit taxes in two different places. For example, the OneMicShow, I think the KRA might be watching us right now. Hi, KRA, we're not going to be paying you anything. We're not going to be paying you anything because we are based in the US. We are located
We are an American company.
Yes, so we are an American company. So sorry, I know KRA, you're peeping, trying to figure out how much money you're going to collect. But pole sana, maybe when we start having, One Mic Show Nairobi edition, One Mic Show Mombasa edition, then maybe we might have a conversation with you if you're nice.
And a couple of has to be done in Kenya.
Done in Kenya.
Okay. Yeah, and with permanent representatives who are
with permanent representation.
And our people are normally roving/roaming. So hapo sijui pale utawapata unless they are between Verizon and Safaricom.
Okay. All right. And I want to remind the listeners the number to call 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We want to hear from you. Want to hear what you want to tell us. Mubelo Bandio, is there anyone on hold on the line? Kuna mtu amepiga simu ama watu wanaogopa?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. So the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We want you to tell us your experiences from what you're hearing your relatives say, and also tell us how is this squeeze in spending for Kenyans. Disposable income is narrowing in because the taxes are growing. How is this affecting your Sendwave? We want to know that. Alafu hapa Washeke says that Ali anachokoza Simba. No, sisi ndo Simba. Wow. I know KRA wako na, by the way, KRA wako na logo ya Simba. Nimesahau. But yeah, when we start earning in Kenya, then we will pay our taxes duly. For now, we are not.